Meredith Goldstein joins us now. Season 3 of the Love Letters podcast is about to drop. In fact, drops today. Always good to see you. Thanks for coming back on. It's always nice to have you in. Okay, so in the past few seasons of the Love Letters podcast, you covered breakups and then how to meet people, how to find new relationships. So what are we covering this season?
Yeah, so we'd like to do one question for an entire season. So we got really into breakups, then we got really into how people meet, and now the question is, how do you know? And that question has many forms and many answers, right? So how do you know someone is the one, if you believe in the one? How do you know it's time to leave? How do you know you want to convert for someone? So all these very big questions, and a few maybe less important questions like, how do you know you're ready to get a tattoo with someone's name on it?
I don't know if that is less important. That's pretty important.
It's pretty permanent. And in fact, most of the tattoo artists we've talked to say that's a real good way to end a relationship, that most of the people they know who get tattoos of a name of a significant other have broken up.
Do you think that's because the people who agree to get that tattoo are more likely to be in a
no, I think often the people are getting the tattoo to commit to a relationship that isn't all the way there.
Oh my!
And in fact,
that's one way to find out. Well,
yep. Yeah.
I have something I have to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be bad.
If you get a tattoo and your partner is horrified by the fact that their name is on your person, you might have made a mistake. So anyway, it's many ways to interpret the question, and we're learning a lot.
How do you know it's the one, if you believe in the one necessarily?
If you believe in the one, and I think most of the people we've talked to know that there might be many ones, right? Sure. It's just a question of who you meet. For our first episode, which did launch today, one of the ways that a musician, a touring musician, who never settled down, did decide to be with someone forever is because he said his partner felt like home. And for a touring musician, the idea that home was wherever she was, that was what was important to him. So everyone seems to have their own definition, but I will say that when people listen, they say, oh, this applies to me, or this is how I would know. So, you know, we don't expect to give one answer for everyone, but we're getting a lot of good ones.
It is such an individual thing. Finances, that can be such a problematic thing in a relationship. How do you know when it's time to share finances? I know some married couples who don't share finances.
Well, I was just going to say, for a lot of people, the answer is don't. Don't share
at all,
finances.
ever.
Yes. And in fact, I wind up getting my sister on that episode of the podcast who admits that her husband may not know what she spends.
Really?
In some ways.
Because they have separate finances.
They have separate accounts and then one shared account. So lots of honest conversations are required before that happens.
Do you think that is that an individual thing too, or do you think people should? Because it says something about the relationship. It says something about the permanence. You are committing to that person for life. My wife and I'll say we do share finances. And it's partly because we trust each other to be responsible. And we're saying, look, it's for life. It's forever.
And for many people, it's about what age they got together. You know, if they already had a certain amount of assets before a coupling, it can make sense to keep things separate. But I think for the most part, it's about like planning for the future. Are you planning together, whether that's separately with one shared account or not? On
the other side of this, you tackle how you know when it's time to leave someone, not that they are the one, that they aren't the one. What did you find on that side of it?
Well, I think one of our more popular episodes this season will be about a woman who cancels a wedding. And I think knowing that you want to walk away and having the energy to do it when you're so close to what so many people consider a finish line, I think that's going to be an important episode, because sometimes we have these gut feelings about knowing it's time to leave, but it seems too hard. But if you know, you know. So
for people who haven't seen your podcast or read your column in the Globe, how much anxiety do you have? This is just a general question about giving people advice about their love lives, because it's such a personal, important thing to people. How much anxiety do you carry on a daily basis when you say, you should do X, Y, Z?
You're making me feel like I should like lie back therapy style on this couch. You know, I think the big thing is I never pretend to have one exact right answer when I only get a little bit of information, right? People tell me what they want to tell me, and I think my goal as an advice columnist and a relationship writer is to help people ask the right questions of themselves. So that takes the pressure off a little bit, I think. But often those people are answering their own questions just through the conversation.
And you say oftentimes the people who comment on your Globe columns have great advice too, and you encourage people to look there as well, not just take what you have to say.
Yeah, so on boston.com/loveletters are the actual questions and answers, and then all of the reader comments where we have had people showing up for 10 years, like every year, to give people advice every day. So we have a lot of unofficial advice columns.
So you don't feel like, hey, butt out. I mean, this is my job. This is what I do. You just
I
stay
like
there.
Group therapy. I like help. So everyone's welcome every day.
Awesome. Meredith Goldstein, always so great to see you. It's the Love Letters Season 3 podcast.
Yes.
Get it wherever you get podcasts.
Yes, so Apple, Spotify. You'll find it right under Love Letters.
And then the Love Letters column as well in the Globe. Thank you so much. Always good to see you. Appreciate it.
Nice to see you too.